What is your American dream?
My American dream is to be great.
My American dream is to be a singer.
My American dream is to own a company.
My American dream is to be able to say whatever I want to say.
My American dream is to become a famous rapper.
My American dream is world peace.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. And it's another day and we're back. My name is Brad Bernstein. This is Brad Show Live. As always, I am joined by Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias. Where are you, Yo-Yo?
I'm right here.
You there?
I'm here.
There he is. What's happening?
Nothing much. How's it going?
You kind of slid right in
Yep.
today.
Yep.
And we didn't really talk much.
We didn't.
We didn't say anything to each other. We're like, hey, okay, show starting. I mean, literally, Yo-Yo got here right as we're like ready to press the button. So I look at him and go, hey, how's everything? Good. And we're ready to go, and here we are.
They would never know, though.
They would never know, but
No.
I'm a very transparent person.
Yeah.
You know what? But
Yes.
people always, when they come in and see me, it's very funny when they come in and see me in the office. Most people, I don't want to say every last person, but most people say, "Oh my God, you're exactly like you are on the show. You are in person as well." I go, "I'm not that good of an actor. It's who I am."
Yeah.
You know? I wish I was acting right now. And I'm a completely different person, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Are you a different person, Jonathan, off camera than on camera?
No, I'm definitely the same person.
You're definitely the same person.
Yeah.
Like if somebody saw you like on the street, I would
definitely the same person.
I agree with that. I just wanted to see.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear what you had to say on that. But I think you're the same person on the street that we see right here.
I am.
That everyone sees in their living room or
Yeah.
in their kitchen.
Yep.
Wherever they are right now.
What you see is what you get.
You got
all
it.
the way.
But that's what it is here at Brad Show Live, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, let's say hello to the squad. Why don't we, right?
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's say hello to Marge Hickson. Hey. Princess Tenko saying, hey, squad, how are you? It's apple pie. What's cooking?
Hey.
I always wanted to say that. It's apple pie. Hey, what's cooking? She didn't say that. She said, squat up, everybody. But I always want to say, it's apple pie. Hey, what's cooking? Carol Anderson, the Tiger, with a pre-comment of the day. Squat up to the greatest show ever, Brad team.
I love it.
I'm going to tell you something. There have been a lot of shows throughout the history of mankind. All right? And certainly a lot of shows... all right, I know, in Carol's 25 years on this earth, I know she's a young lady. In her 25 years on this earth, that's what she looks like to me.
Agreed.
She has probably watched a lot of shows, too.
Yeah.
And to call us the greatest of all time, that is a compliment.
It's a big compliment.
Thank you very much.
We take it
Thank
with
you.
pride.
Thank you very
and
much. I do.
honor.
That is a really nice compliment.
Yes.
Princess Tenko. Uncle Brad, what does it mean when they give someone a pink slip after a visitor's visa interview? Well, you know what the pink slip means, Jonathan.
Pink slip was never good when I was in school.
Yeah, pink slip is never good anywhere.
Okay, because I used to get them.
If you're working on a job and you get a pink slip, that means the job doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And if you were at Yo-Yo school, you got a pink slip, that means Mama Elias was yelling at Yo-Yo at the end of the day.
Oh, I did not miss those days.
I don't know what the pink slip is at the actual interview, but it doesn't sound very encouraging.
It doesn't.
No. It depends what's written on the pink slip. It's not so much the color of the slip, the words on the slip. That's what I would need to know. What else we got here? Cleve Rich Kid C. Squad up. How are you? Joyce Henry, squad up. And who else we have here? Rhonda Abrams Fernandez. Welcome. Welcome, and I see you watching. Barbara Benoit. Of course, we have our patwa of the day from Barbara. Yo, wakwan.
Midea masa.
There you go.
There you go. Everything Irie.
There you go. And you're gonna have to get another. You're gonna have to learn something new.
Well, they're gonna have to teach me something new.
And Donna Harriet saying the pink slip is not good. I agree. Let's see what's going on YouTube. Randy Ronaldo saying hello, Earth Angel. Squad up, Saeed Bassett Banuru saying hi. The Top Cat double fisting, Susie Q. How are you? Brooklyn Estu saying squad up, Claudette Crow. Watching from is it the Boogie Down Bronx?
Yep.
Right? Is that what they call it? Right?
Yep.
The Boogie Down Bronx.
BX.
And Brooklyn Estu saying let's go. Probably watching from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
More than likely.
Right? Saint Ernesto TV saying, hello, great guys. Hello, great Saint Ernesto. Takes a great guy to know another great guy, I would think,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And Anu Chandra at the Indian Embassy. She's coming in with some information. The pig slip at the Indian Embassy means denial or an extraordinarily difficult RV.
Oh, yikes.
The green slip means you got accepted, which makes sense. Pink slip is always bad. Green means go.
Right.
So that makes sense to me.
That makes sense.
And Jewel MCAA saying, hi, Brad from Jamaica, always watching. Felicia Beckford, squad up. Yo, it is Tuesday tea. There is, I guess our pre-schmooze question of the day was, what is the pink slip? We did it.
We already did it.
All right, so take it away.
All right, squad, you already know what time it is. It is time for you all to share because we're about to start schmoozing, talking headlines, including the Biden administration is asking the public for help to make sure family separation is never used against undocumented migrants again. And, of course, it is Tuesday, tea time, like Brad said. So we're going to be sipping some celebrity headlines with Brad, including the crowning of the new Miss Universe. So we're going to be talking about the pageant and, of course, the host, Steve Harvey, and see how he did. Hopefully he didn't say the wrong name this time.
He did. He said some wrong things, but not the wrong.
Oh, Lord.
He didn't announce the wrong winner.
Just give it to Brad already.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I want to see you host it.
I want to see you host it.
We can host it together.
That would be great. Wouldn't that be great?
I'd be here for it.
I think that would do well.
I think it would too.
Who's in charge of that?
We need to find out.
Okay. Jill, make a call. All right. And, of course, you can call Spar and Bernstein at 1-800-529-5465. That's the number to call to get on our show. It's also the telephone number to call our office. Same telephone number, 1-800-529-5465. Internationally, 212-227-8933. We take calls from all over the United States of America. We take calls from all over North America. We take calls from every continent in the world. As long as you call right now, we do have open lines, 1-800-529-5465. I say this every time. 2 words of advice about our show.
What?
Okay, advice number 1, Jonathan. The number scrolls at the bottom of the screen, like The Price is Right. There you are, the entire show.
Oh, this way.
There should be no reason whatsoever anybody leaves a comment saying, hey, Brad, how can I get in touch with you? Hey, Brad, how can I make a consultation with you? Hey, Brad, how can I call the show? It's right in front of your eyes.
The whole time.
The entire time, right? There you go. And there's also Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with my head attached to his body.
That runs across
with a sign that says, ask me your immigration questions, just in case somebody doesn't realize what this show is about.
Right.
Okay. Number 2. Even though that number is scrolling across the screen for the entire show, probably in about 20 minutes all our lines will be locked. So if you do have an immigration question, now's the time to call and get in the queue, and I will be happy to speak with you in a few minutes right after our schmooze. And then, by the way, after our schmooze, and after we do our immigration questions, and after we do our social media check-in and our TikTok time, and everything else that Jill hasn't planned for us, all the surprises, later in the show, we're going to hear our final part of my discussion with Steve Garza, the breakout star of Apple Plus's 2021 Emmy-winning documentary, Boy State. But right now, Yo-Yo,
It's time to schmooze.
it's time to schmooze. Let's do it. So if we've learned anything from watching Brad Show Live, I bet you that any member of our squad, any member of our crew would do a better job writing regulations than the people in the Biden administration.
Yeah.
All right, what did we learn? You have to actually follow the rules to make a rule, and you got to follow the rules to end a rule. And yesterday, a United States Appeals Court rejected again an attempt by the Biden administration to end the Migrant Protection Protocol program that it was put in place by former President Donald Trump. That is the program that has forced tens of thousands of migrants to wait in Mexico for the resolution of their asylum claim rather than being paroled into the United States and allowed to remain in the United States pending their asylum claim. President Biden scrapped his predecessor's prior policy. It was a huge campaign promise by Biden. It is often referred as the Remain in Mexico program. He promised to do it on day one, and he did it on day one. Except you can't end the program on day one because you have to follow the rules, the steps to end it.
Right.
He could have started the process of ending it, and it's, by the way, it's a terrible program because everybody, people are living in misery.
Right.
And they don't have to.
Right.
And there's other options to both protect the United States and give people the right not to live in squalor.
Yeah.
Waiting to come into the United States. Give people a little more respect and dignity rather than what the United States does while protecting. There's lots of ways to do it. I'll give you one perfect example. They have monitor bracelets.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you can put a monitor bracelet on every last person that you allow into the United States of America. Okay, it's almost impossible to rip off. And if it is ripped off,
You'll be.
they would beep, I guess, and the Department of Homeland Security would get a beep or something. The person ripped it off their ankle. But for the most part, people leave it on. Is it uncomfortable to wear? Absolutely.
Right.
Nobody. It's not pleasant. Certainly, nobody wants to be monitored where they
better
are.
Than what
but
they're
it's
doing
better
now.
than living where you are.
Yeah.
And it's cheaper, too.
Yeah. Wow.
Less than $1 a day per person. Nevertheless, in 2019, Trump did the Remain in Mexico program. He really did it to prevent people from coming to the United States and applying for asylum. He said, if we're going to make your life so miserable that it will be more miserable to remain on the border of Mexico than it would be to stay in your particular country.
Wow.
We're going to make your misery worse at the border than what you are escaping from. He did it by separating families. He did it by this Remain in Mexico program. And what the United States has discovered is no matter how miserable we make it, people would rather
They're still going to come.
come.
Yeah.
That's how miserable it was and how desperate people are to enter the United States of America.
That should tell you something.
That should tell you something right there. Well, after the Supreme Court knocked down but the Biden administration's request to end the program, they were sued by several pumpkin states, we like to call them now. The pumpkin states, right? They used to be called the flyover states.
Now they're called the pumpkin states.
The pumpkin states, because they all voted for pumpkin. Right. And so some of the pumpkin states sued the Biden administration, said he can't end it. Texas, Louisiana, Missouri, I think, was in there as well. And Supreme Court said, Biden didn't follow the right rules to end the program. So they wrote a new memo, and they put it up on the internet. And they said, okay, now it's over. And on Monday night ruling, the U.S. Court of Appeals said that the Department of Homeland Security claims the power to implement a massive policy reversal affecting billions of dollars and countless people simply by typing out a new Word document and posting it on the internet. No input from Congress, not following rulemaking procedures, no judicial review. Department of Homeland Security has come nowhere close to shouldering its heavy burden to show that it can make a law in a vacuum.
Sheesh.
Again, if there is a rule or regulation, what have we learned on Bradshaw Live? You have to make a rule, open it up for comments, let people comment positive and negative. You have to then make your rule taking into consideration everybody's comments. And it's a time-consuming process. But that is the process that we follow in the United States. And when the Department of Homeland Security or President Biden just by a stroke of a signature says it's over, you can't. Which is why even the pumpkin couldn't end DACA. Because he tried to do the same exact thing without going through the rulemaking process.
Come on, y'all. Y'all should know this by now.
I'm telling you, anybody in the squad would be able to figure this one out if they were working in Washington.
But my thing, doesn't he have advisors that telling him?
I don't know.
This ain't gonna work.
Maybe honestly, they do it on purpose.
I was about to say it had to have been.
Maybe they do it on purpose in the sense that, can you say they're that dumb? Maybe they say, okay, we're working to end it. So we get all the political points of saying, look, we're working to end it.
Right.
And then blame the courts.
Knowing that
it's going to be overturned, so they don't have to let the people in anyway.
Yeah.
And say, oh, it's the court's fault, not mine.
Especially since that was such a big point in when he was running for president.
Listen, it's very possible. I'm very cynical on everything these days.
I believe that. That's what I
maybe they don't want people to come in, but he can't say it.
Right.
So he purposely
because
screws
he promised
up.
it already.
So he says, I did it.
Yeah.
I did it.
I tried.
And you know what? The courts overturned it. And you Americans and people who vote are stupid because you don't know how the rulemaking process works. And therefore you wouldn't even realize that I'm purposely screwing it up.
That's how I see it.
But now that we all know how the rulemaking process works, you can't say, how could you be that stupid?
Right.
I don't know. Meanwhile, statistically, 650 people died attempting to cross the U.S.-Mexican border this year without inspection, more than any other year since they started collecting that data from 2014. The International Organization for Migration, the agency documenting the deaths, did not specify the reasons for the deaths, but crossing the U.S. southern border is often, obviously, a very dangerous journey. Arrests of migrants also are at the year have remained at the high level, even during the months when they usually dip. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol recorded in the last year 557 deaths, so they are up. There was also 12,854 Border Patrol rescues in the last fiscal year, far surpassing the previous 4 years. In June, when rescues were already spiking, Customs and Border Patrol said smuggling organizations were abandoning migrants in remote and dangerous areas, leading to a dramatic rise in the number of rescues. And the reason why they're being abandoned in remote and desolate areas is because the United States is making it extraordinarily difficult to cross into the United States. So as a result, smugglers have to bring people into even more dangerous and remote areas. You know. Meanwhile, the Biden administration here, Jonathan, you don't think they know how to make a rule?
Let's see.
The Department of Homeland Security is now seeking public for help to stop the federal government from ever separating families again as a tactic against undocumented migrants. Okay, now under Trump, if you remember, more than 3,000 children were separated. There's still approximately 270 children who have still not been reunited with their family. So the Department of Homeland Security has asked for public input. They filed something in the Federal Register, which is where you make your rules, Jonathan. They seem to know how to do it here, right? As part of a task force mandate to recommend ways to ensure that the federal government does not repeat the policies that led to separating families at the border. So now that they made this rule and this mandate, any future president, when they do make a rule change to separate families, has to take into account every person and every organization that made a comment or a suggestion as part of this mandate by the Department of Homeland Security to come up ways that this doesn't happen again.
Right.
That would be part of the rulemaking process to consider what everybody thought now and in the future. And if they don't consider all the comments, that is a reason to overturn the rule. The whole idea behind rulemaking, that a president has to consider what the public wants. He doesn't have to follow what the public wants, but he has to consider it and say why I agree or why I disagree. So here the Department of Homeland Security is inviting people in the Federal Register in something that they're calling a mandate to make sure this doesn't happen again, to make comments on why family separation shouldn't happen. Trust me, a future president will get, if they try to separate families again, if the pumpkin comes back and tries to separate families again and doesn't take into consideration the comments that were made in this particular mandate, that would be a reason to sue him.
Ah, okay.
So you're telling me they don't know what they're doing?
I mean, they knew what they were doing for this.
Yes, they know what they were doing for that, right? And we're still waiting for Plan C, Yo-Yo.
And we thought that it might be here by now, or at least before Christmas, we said.
Yeah, but I don't know. Plan A was an amnesty for frontline workers, people with TPS, agricultural workers, DACA recipients. Didn't pass the parliamentarian. Plan B was to change the 245I date, change the registry date, would give about 6 million people green cards. Didn't pass the parliamentarian. They have Plan C has passed the House of Representatives. The parliamentarian has not ruled on Plan C, which is a parole process for anybody who has been in the United States prior to January 1st, 2011 and continuously residing here, which would give them a work permit, which would give them travel permission, and also getting the unused green cards for the last 20 some odd years, which they said is be about 600,000 green cards to reduce the backlog of people waiting for their green cards, as well as give people an opportunity to pay an expedite fee of $2,500 or $5,000, whatever the amount was, to jump the line to go to the top. Those are the rule changes for the Build Back Better plan. Joe Manchin, our friend. I put it in parentheses.
Right.
Because he's really not our friend. Because he's
has-
holding it all up.
I know.
Our parentheses.
We want him to be our friend.
We want him to be our friend. That's why I'm putting it in parentheses.
He's supposed to be
our parentheses friend.
Because he's Democratic, right?
Yes, that's why I said
Right,
our friend in
our friend.
parentheses.
Supposed to.
He's supposed to be our friend.
Come on,
you know, like I
man.
wouldn't say a pumpkin is our friend.
Hell no.
No. But Joe Manchin is our
Our
parentheses friend.
friend.
Our parentheses friend. So he's holding up the whole works here, Jonathan.
Yes.
One man. Hold it. That guy right there.
Maybe he likes this feeling. It's like,
I don't know. He
have all the power in my
he does
hand.
like the power. He met with President Biden recently, and he says he's tired of the budget gimmicks, and he says that he wants to get a deal done, but he doesn't want it to cost the taxpayers more than what the Biden administration, the House of Representatives, passed, that it would cost too much money.
Okay, I mean, I'm okay with that. He's at least he's looking, you know.
Well, the
He's looking out
Congressional
for
Budget Office
taxpayers.
recently released a revised score for the Build Back Better plan based on a Republican request to see how much the bill would cost if a series of provisions were extended for the full 10 years. And the CBO estimated that the version of legislation that was passed by the House would increase the U.S. deficit by $3 trillion. And Manchin said he is not going to vote to increase the deficit over the next decade by $3 trillion. He wants that to be neutral. Where are they going to find $3 trillion from between
Right.
now and Christmas without raising taxes?
Yeah.
Without raising taxes. Now, Manchin said you might as well look at the whole ball of wax, if you will, when asked if he doesn't believe that temporary programs will stay temporary and that the new CBO report was very sobering. He's been concerned about the price tag from the beginning. So,
Okay.
you know,
so wait, I didn't know that this would cost taxpayers
it's going to
more.
cost $3 trillion because the way that the House of Representatives did it is that it is neutral for the first 5 years, and they're passing this bill over a 5-year period, expecting a future Congress to extend it for an additional 5 years. But over those next 5 years, it would cost $3 trillion. So he wants it to be neutral. That is what they are trying to get through.
I didn't know. Wait a minute. I didn't know it was supposed to be, you know, we were going to be paying for this. So for the Plan C to pass, the $3 trillion would come from taxpayers?
Not Plan C, the entire Build Back
Better.
Build Back Better. So it's an
Okay.
environment, it's schools, it's preschool. Immigration is part of this.
That's part of the Build Back Better.
It's part of the Build Back Better. So Manchin's holding it all up. We were hoping we would know before Christmas, but I don't expect it to happen before Christmas.
Yeah, this is a lot.
Yeah.
They have to.
And meanwhile, a study from South Africa found that the Omicron variant, because we got to talk about coronavirus, is substantially more contagious and reduces the effectiveness of COVID-19 vaccines. Although, interestingly, the Omicron virus is not as lethal, they say.
That's what they say.
It's not as lethal, but it is very contagious. What was also, you know, some nice news today, Pfizer. Interesting that Pfizer has made the by the way, the vaccine that Pfizer gave was the largest pharmaceutical profit of any drug or vaccine ever put out in the history of the world. Yeah. The Pfizer vaccine, they made more money from that than any other drug that's ever been put out in the history of the world, at least legal drug.
Yeah.
And now they have come out with a pill that they say if they gave it to high-risk people, which are people who would be either over 65 or immunocompromised or overweight, that would reduce their risk of death by 89% if they take the pill within the first 3 days of being positive with COVID. So it's almost like antibiotic at this point.
Right, I was about to say, almost like penicillin
Almost like
something.
penicillin a little bit. So that pill is going to come out into the marketplace in the next few weeks.
Wow.
They expect the FDA to pass and allow it to go out. And by the way, that pill will probably be a bigger seller than the vaccine.
Right.
And Pfizer now will probably have the two biggest. You don't think they made money on this COVID? People made money on COVID. Yeah. People made money on COVID. That is for sure.
I just wish that they, put that same type of energy for different diseases that are out there.
And and of course, all the conspiracy theorists will come out. It enters your mind, doesn't it?
You already know how I think.
know. I'm looking at you, and I
already know how.
I'm already seeing Jonathan's conspiracy theories going through his head. All right, we have any tea?
We do.
We have tea somewhere?
Is J Rhymes back?
I don't know.
Oh!
But there's no music. No music today. All right, no music. What happened to our music?
He's singing.
There we go. There we go.
It's not a Christmas Carol. Sorry about that.
I know. This is our last tea time for the year.
Yeah,
no, like Christmas.
We got to keep playing the music, Ian. Not one time. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chai tea.
Chai tea.
Ooh.
Well, everybody, happy Tuesday.
It smells good.
It's chai tea. Chai tea.
Just chai.
Oh, chai.
Remember, chai means tea. So like that, if you say chai tea, it's tea.
Ah, you're right. We learned that already.
The squad taught us that.
That's right. I got to remember.
It smells really good.
Right, chai.
This is chai.
Right. Is there anything that I have to? Did they put anything in here besides the chai?
No. So.
Well, happy Tuesday. Here you go.
Here's our last Tuesday of 2021.
Happy Tuesday to the squad out there. I hope you're joining us with something to drink, whether it's tea or water.
Yes.
And sit back and relax.
This is
That's what we're going to do a little bit right
Yes.
now. Talk amongst yourselves. This chai is very good.
This chai is really good.
This chai is very, very good.
It smells good too. Smells chai.
Isn't this exciting, just watching us drink tea?
Yes.
But we have, you know what? This is our only time that we ever have a chance to relax during our show.
This is true.
Once a week.
Once a week.
Once
That's
a week,
it.
we get to relax during our show.
So please
you know,
forgive us if we take a little
Take
bit
our
of
little
time.
more time, yeah. All right, let's see what's in our
All right.
Tuesday tea. That's all the relaxing we're allowed. Let's see what's in our Tuesday
Jilly's
tea.
probably in our ear like, "Rah, just go."
Well, congratulations to Miss India Harnaz Sandhu.
Nice.
Did you watch the Miss Universe contest?
I did not.
I did not watch it either, but I read all about it.
Yeah, I did too.
Right,
I didn't even
everybody
know
was
what was
reading
going
about it.
on.
And then I watched all the YouTube clips from
Right,
it.
right.
So I
Yeah.
watched about 5 minutes or 7 minutes of YouTube clips.
wow, she's beautiful.
She's beautiful. So
She
she's
almost
about
looks like Angelina Jolie.
She's a Bollywood actress.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. And of course, Steve Martin, I'm calling him Steve Harvey. I don't know why I call him Steve Martin. I have Steve Martin on my head. I don't know why. Steve Harvey. I was talking about the show that he's in earlier in the day. Murder in the
What is
Building,
he
whatever it's
wearing?
called. So Steve Harvey, there was 80 contestants vying for the Miss Universe tiara. It went down to the final 3. By the way, it was the Miss Universe event was in Eilat, Israel, which is right on the Red Sea. It was down to the final 3. Miss South Africa, Lilala Maswani, Miss Paraguay, Nadia Ferreira, and Sandhu's Miss India. And Miss South Africa was named the second runner-up.
Oh, nice.
And when the Bollywood actress Miss India was announced as the winner, Sandhu fell into joyful tears before taking her first walk on the stage.
Lord have mercy.
Yes.
She is beautiful.
The final telecast Minute Sunday saw some exciting live TV moments.
That was Miss South Africa. Did you see her?
Let me see Miss South Africa.
She was gorgeous.
They're all gorgeous.
I know. But sheesh. Miss South Africa, they just showed her.
They're all gorgeous.
They're going to show her again. Are you guys going to? Yes. Goodness gracious.
Jonathan, they really need to make us the host.
Right.
I'm
saying.
seeing these pictures. They really need to make us the host.
Yeah, because I don't know what Steve Harvey is wearing over there.
Yeah, so earlier in the show,
like
Harvey
that.
alluded to his Miss Universe 2015 fiasco, in which he had announced the wrong winner. In 2015, Harvey named Miss Colombia Ariana Gutierrez, who was really the first runner-up, as the winner instead of Miss Philippines Pia Alonso, who actually won the competition. You remember that?
I sure do.
So when Sunday's competition came down to the final 2, Harvey referred to Miss Paraguay as Miss Portugal, similar to how I referred to Steve Harvey as Steve Martin. Seconds before announcing the winner. He quickly corrected his mistake, just like I quickly corrected my mistake. And he says they wrote Portugal. I watched this actually on YouTube.
Oh, he said they wrote Portugal?
They wrote Portugal on the damn sign. They're trying to play me again, Harvey said of the show's producers. I'm not going for it this year. You gotta watch like the last 2 or 3 minutes. It was nice. So earlier in the competition, Harvey asked Sandhu, who had cracked the top 16 as Miss India, I hear you do some good animal impersonations. Let's hear the best one. It's a weird question.
Yeah.
Very strange question.
And she
Sandhu
did it.
responded with a cat meow, which has now become an internet meme. The cat meow. And people kind of got like a little upset about that.
Why?
I don't know why. I guess, why are you asking this woman to make animal sounds?
So it says, OMG, Miss India meowing at Steve Harvey is not what I was expecting to see tonight. Pretty sure the Miss Universe organization could have asked a better question. Very frustrating, but she was nothing if not confident. So I guess they wanted them to say something a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
show up. I guess Miss Universe, you want to be able to show that
you're smart,
you have
and
brains
not just,
and smart, and not
just
make a
beautiful.
stupid make a stupid animal sounds.
Right.
Because that doesn't really show off like any talent whatsoever.
But I mean, they wouldn't have known that unless she told them. So if she told them,
Right.
then it's fair game. But I get what they're saying. They want them to at least seem, show
Okay.
their brains as well as their beauty.
Okay, I get it, I guess.
But meowing is a special talent. If
Okay.
it sounded good.
Okay. Do you have any special animal sounds
No,
you can make?
I don't.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I
I
haven't-
don't even know what my special talent would be, honestly, if I had
You
to
have
get
lots
into.
of you have lots of talents.
Thank you.
Yes.
You do too.
I have only one talent.
That's not true.
I only have one talent. I have a fabulous memory for immigration law. Beyond that, I really have nothing. It's really after that, I'm a blank. Meanwhile, Kim Kardashian,
Finally!
fourth time's the charm. She's getting homeschooled to be a lawyer. Mm-hmm. I don't know what lawyers are going to homeschool her, but I guess got to be costing a fortune. Lawyers make a lot of money.
Listen.
And she's being homeschooled.
They've got nothing but money. I literally just saw a post today that she has this big time pianist come into the house every morning by their huge Christmas tree and play Christmas music on the piano to wake the children up every day for the holiday season. So if she has that much money for that, I'm sure she has enough
For
money
a
to get.
pianist.
Yes.
That's crazy. That is crazy. So after the fourth time, she finally passed the baby bar.
Good for her.
But it's not the bar exam.
it's still passing something.
It's the exam you have to take just to pass your first year of law school.
Oh.
She still has 2 more years to
Oh
go
my gosh.
before she takes the full
Listen,
bar.
I give it to her though. She's been staying real consistent with it, and I'm happy for her. She was actually, you could tell she was super excited. So.
She failed the exam 3 times in 2 years, including once earlier this year after testing positive for COVID. Would you want her to be a lawyer in anything?
Yeah.
Like what?
If it has to do with getting like signatures and getting, public publicity, I would definitely want her to, because obviously she's not going to just work with herself. She'll
Yes.
have like advisors, or she'll have like other lawyers to work with. But she is very dedicated to whichever case she takes.
Well, if I'm found guilty and I got railroaded, I would want her. She's gotten a whole bunch of people out of jail.
Yeah.
She did a better
She has connections.
She do a better job than me.
Because she has more connections than
Yeah,
you. She
of
has
course.
the whole world.
I mean, somebody came to me and said, "Hey, my uncle's in jail. He got railroaded. I'm
could
debating
tweet it.
between you and Kim Kardashian." I'd be like, "Go to Kim. Trust me. She knows more people than me."
Yeah. That's why I'm super, happy that she stuck to it. A lot of people have been talking mess about her. Now they're starting to turn around and like, okay, we see it. And then we also forget that her dad was one of the biggest, lawyers known.
Robert.
Robert Kardashian, who helped O.J.
He was
Simpson.
he was O.J.'s original lawyer until they brought the whole Dream Team on. And she said, by the way, that being a mother inspired her to work on criminal justice reform. She says, "I'm raising
black kids.
Yeah, I'm raising 4 black children that could face a situation like any of the people that I help. Just to know I can make a difference in my children's lives and others by helping to fix a broken system, that is so motivating for me."
Let me tell you, I never thought I would ever say it, but Kim Kardashian is good in my book.
All right. Why? Because before you just thought she was just...
She didn't. I mean,
She
had
didn't
talent because she was, she started off in fashion, but we didn't see the talents that, what she, she's rich. She had one of the biggest shows out there, reality shows out there. So she was known as the no talent having rich girl, So now that she's actually put in work into, social justice and actually, she's a mother now. Like now I see her as a person. I see her talents. I see her trying. So she's good on my book.
All right. Well, the squad has a lot to say too. Mm-hmm. Dawn Harriet says she'd do well as a human rights attorney.
Yeah.
Lisa Bling Rose, she would be a great lawyer to tell you how to get money from a man, but not how to keep them.
Oh.
Ooh, Lisa going low on Kim Kardashian.
This is tea time.
Well, hey, listen, sit back and relax,
Okay.
right? Lisa going low on Kim there.
Okay.
I was just reading the comments. I didn't even know what she wrote. All right. By the way, Elon Musk has been named Time Man of the Year. Whether you like him or not, I mean, he certainly has has, made a lot of, whether right or wrong, made a lot of noise this year, right?
I thought when you say right or wrong, I don't see that as a most influential person.
Well,
if they have right or wrong,
well,
I think
the person
most
of the year,
influential person would be more of a right person to me.
I don't think so. I just think somebody who has influenced one way or the other. The Time editor-in-chief, Edward Felsenthal wrote, "The person of the year is a marker of influence, and few individuals have had more influence than Elon Musk on life on Earth and potentially life off of Earth. In 2021, Musk emerged not just as the world's richest person, but also as perhaps the richest example of a massive shift in our society." Besides Tesla, okay, he was on Twitter. He caused, all those, Reddit bros, with the stocks during the pandemic. He was the one cheering them all on, and they were all following his lead on all these, Reddit things and tweets and Twitter. Bidding up AMC and GameStop and Bitcoin, and I mean, he made millionaires of a lot of people just sitting in front of their computer. He did. It's all on paper. Whether or not it's true wealth, we'll find out over the years. But paper wealth, for sure. The tradition from Time began and besides building rocket to go to space, the electric car. I mean, he's done a lot in the last year.
He has done a lot.
He's done a lot in the last year. The tradition from Time magazine began in 1927 as Man of the Year. It's now Person of the Year. And it is not only recognized an individual, but also considers the impact of a group, movement, or idea. Last year, it was shared by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Now, some of Musk's online behavior has got him into trouble. But as we said, right or wrong, he's been out there this year and made a lot of money. He's the world's richest man.
Yeah.
Introducing Musk as Person of the Year, Felsenthal wrote of Musk's persona, describing it as a blunt instrument that often seems to revel in division and aggressive mockery. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos did not have a very good day the other day.
Oh gosh.
He shot his spaceship, Blue Origin, into space. He was all excited that his spaceship went up into space and came back. Michael Strahan, the ex-football player and Today host, was on it and came back. But and he was congratulating everybody and happy and slapping everyone on the back. But at that same moment, the tornado struck Illinois. It struck a Amazon warehouse. At least as of yesterday, 6 people died. Never mentioned it. Never said anything. It was only hours and hours later, after he was getting slack on the internet, that he is slapping people on the back. He's happy for his Blue Origin, that he, basically, I don't know if it's hypocrisy or irony or what, he shot a rocket up into space that, God knows how much carbon dioxide they put into the atmosphere for his own pleasure of saying, I'm rich enough that I can blast somebody into space.
Right.
That carbon dioxide and all the other carbon dioxide that we create causes all of this weather changes, causes these crazy tornadoes that struck. Now, I'm not saying his rocket ship caused carbon dioxide, caused the tornado, but it's certainly adding to it. And then doesn't say a word about his employees dead in his warehouse.
It's really sad.
Shame on
sad.
Jeff Bezos. That's all we have to say.
It's really sad.
Shame, shame, shame.
Especially, and then trying to say, went on Twitter talking about, how the news, had them heartbroken and all that. And I'm like, I'd rather you not even say nothing. Like, if you're gonna go out and post you smiling, slapping people on the back because you rich and you sent people up into space and your own workers have died, like
all in the same day.
All in the same day. It's disgusting to me. It's sad, because imagine if that was one of my family members and that was my family member's boss, and I see him laughing and enjoying billions of dollars while my family is out here
making $15 an hour dead in a warehouse.
There you go. It's sick.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I have not watched Sex and the City.
I have.
You have?
I have. I know
were
all about
you
this.
into Sex and the City?
So not growing up, but when I moved to New York, my
watched it all.
friend told me to watch it, and I did not have a job when I first moved here. So all I did
was watch Sex and the City.
Binge the entire series. So I learned a lot about New York because of this show.
So Sarah Jessica Parker's boyfriend or husband or fiance, whoever he is, Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
He was the on again, off again love interest. I've watched some of Sex and the City.
So you know about Mr. Big.
I know about Mr. Big. I haven't watched every last one, but
so you know it's a reboot.
Of course I do. But I watched it when it was on 15 years ago or 10 years ago. I haven't seen it in 15 years. So any event, here, by the way, if you plan on watching it,
oh yeah, watch out.
By the way,
it's gonna be a spoiler alert.
Put us on mute.
If you do, plan on watching And Just Like That, which is the reboot of Sex and the City.
All right, so you're getting 5 seconds to be put on mute. Spoiler alert.
1 second.
Spoiler alert.
2,
3, 4, 5. So at the end of the first episode, Mr. Big, the love interest, gets on a Peloton bike and drops dead of a heart attack.
Right.
And Peloton did not agree to have their bike in this episode. And apparently, lots of people are watching this.
Yeah. And really sad at the fact that he died.
That he died on the Peloton bike. So Peloton's a public company. The next day after this came out, Peloton had no idea that their bike was even in the episode. The next day, their stock tanked.
Did it?
It's tanked.
Oh, snap.
Yes. It fell 12% the day after Mr. Big died on the bike. But what they did, they were smart. What they did was they produced a commercial in 48 hours.
So Peloton did know that it was going to be. They knew, but they didn't know that the character would drop dead after a 45-minute ride in the first episode. But they knew that they were using the Peloton.
Oh, but did not know, right? But did not know he was going to die. Correct. Okay. So they did a commercial within 48 hours with Ryan Reynolds and Mr. Big.
Smart.
Yes.
This is why you need to have geniuses on your team.
2 days to make this ad.
And it was good.
Right.
It was funny.
And Ryan Reynolds said, by the way, if we can put that spot together in 48 hours, you can do your workout today too. Okay. So what was the ad?
This is the ad. So like, wait, he basically, she says like, you look really good, and he's like, oh, thanks, Well,
I have the ad here. He says, and just like that, the world was reminded that regular cycling stimulates and improves your heart, lungs, and circulation, reducing your risk of cardiovascular disease. Cycling strengthens your heart muscles, lowers resting pulse, and reduces blood fat levels. And before the ad ends, Ryan Reynolds, and by the way, Mr. Big is in it. Ryan Reynolds quickly adds, he's alive. A Peloton spokeswoman said yesterday the ad reinforced how cardiovascular exercise can help people lead long lives. You know, it goes back to any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
So I think Peloton will ultimately do well from this.
That was brilliant to put him in that, because a lot of people were really sad. And I thought it was hecka funny after, because you know how it always like, I guess it's Ryan Reynolds' voice, but like, you know how they'll say like all the stuff at the end very fast, and like how he literally put that in, and he's alive. Like in the commercial was hilarious to me.
Well,
we have that as well.
Let's see. Maybe we have it.
No, we do have it. They just played it. They played.
All right. Well, by the way.
Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Well.
Reducing your risk of cardiovascular diseases. Cycling strengthens your heart muscles, lowers resting pulse, and reduces blood fat levels. He's alive.
Yeah. So Peloton previously released a statement before this commercial even came out that from a Dr. Suzanne Steinbaum, who is obviously a doctor and a wellness on their Wellness Advisory Council. She sent out a statement from Peloton saying, Mr. Big lived what many would call an extravagant lifestyle, including cocktails, cigars, and big steaks, and was at serious risk.
Damn, that's wild how just like one show could have such an impact on your whole company. That's hilarious.
All right,
so, that was good tea time.
What do we got here now? Let me get this. It's TikTok time, Jonathan.
All right.
And in this edition of TikTok time, I answer the questions ranging from giving birth in America to filing for a family member. Let's watch. You can give birth in America. It's totally legal to give birth in America. That's not the issue. The issue is if you come to the United States pregnant with a visa and misrepresent what the purpose of your entry is, that's the problem. It's not what I think. It's how the law classifies it. I'm just the messenger. Killing somebody, having multiple wives, possessing drugs, robbing a bank, under the law, makes you inadmissible. You can't get a green card. Bring your wife from any foreign country. You figure it's about 12 months for an I-130 visa petition, another 5-6 months at the National Visa Center. You have to figure it's approximately, give or take on any case, 18 months. Good luck. Green card holder can file for his or her spouse and his or her unmarried children, whether over or under 21, but no other family. So if you're talking about children and spouse, yes. Otherwise, you got to wait until you're a citizen. Good luck. All right, you ready for
meat and potatoes?
Meat and potatoes. That's what Jonathan called for, meat and potatoes. I'm calling for it too. You got an immigration question, I got an answer for you. The meat and potatoes of Reschedule. They're hungry for their questions, right? All right, Sion waiting over an hour in Dallas, Texas. Sion, how are you? Sion.
Yes.
How are you?
Hey, bro. I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. What's going on?
So my question for you is that I am a green card holder with N400 pending, and I'm married here in United States, and we both live here in the U.S., and we applied for I-130 back in April 2020.
Right.
And the case was approved in June 2021.
Okay.
And then I have not heard back from USCIS after that. And then when I checked the visa bulletin yesterday, it looks like the F2A category is...
the F2A category has been current since the last 2.5 years. Where?
So does that mean...
Where is your husband from?
He's from Ethiopia.
Okay. And has he overstayed his visa, or is he in legal status right now?
He's outside currently.
He's outside of the United States?
No, he is here.
Okay. What is his status here in the United States?
He's asylum with EAD.
Asylum with EAD. Did he apply for asylum when he came at the border, or did he apply for asylum at some future date?
At the future date.
Okay. So since he was out of status for some period of time, didn't apply at the border, and was paroled in, he has to wait until you become a U.S. citizen. Then you can file your adjustment for him, withdraw his asylum case, and he'll get his green card in about a year. So just wait on your citizenship and then do the adjustment and withdraw his asylum.
All right, okay.
All right?
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome. Good luck. Let's go to Yassine in New York City.
Hey, Uncle Brad.
Hi,
how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. My name is Yassine. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I came here when I was 13, and I'm 37 now. I own a nonprofit organization in New York, feeding the homeless.
Right.
I wanted to know if I could get a green card through my organization.
What is your status right now?
0. My dad is a U.S. citizen. My mom is a green card holder.
Well, I have a question for you. You came when you were 13. You're 37 now. So you came 20 years ago. So that was in 2000. And so it seems like you would have qualified for DACA. How come you never got DACA?
I got denied.
Why?
They say I was missing information.
What information were you missing?
Oh, I didn't prove that I was in the United States in 2007. I couldn't prove it.
Well, didn't you go to school?
Yeah, I did, but at that time I wasn't going to school because I wanted to join the army, and I didn't have any paper to do so, so I gave up.
Oh, okay. So I guess, living undocumented, I guess you weren't able to show a document in that particular moment.
Yeah.
You may want to revisit that again and speak to me about, what you have. Now, your dad, you said, is a United States citizen?
Yes, and my mom is a green card holder, and I was married to a United States citizen, but he was abusing me, so I left him.
Okay. A couple more questions for you. Number one, how'd you come to the U.S.?
I came here with somebody, like, for example, my dad's friends brought me here.
Okay. How did your dad get his green card?
Through his American wife.
But she never filed for you?
I think he did, but he never followed up.
When did that happen?
Oh, God.
Was that in the 90s?
Yeah, in the 90s, yeah.
For sure your stepmom filed for you?
He told us that she did, yeah.
Okay. Now, you said also you were previously married and you had to leave because of abuse. When was that?
2018.
And have you divorced this man?
Not yet.
Why have you not then filed a VAWA case?
Because I filed taxes with him, but we don't have like bank records. I want to come and speak to you in person. Okay. Is that possible?
Yes, it is. If there was abuse in your relationship, we'll prove the VAWA case. That to me sounds like the stronger of everything that you've told me so far.
Oh my God, I love you so much.
Right, so hold on one second, okay?
Thank you.
All right. I'm sorry, I cut her off, but she needs to come and tell me her story. Let's go to Abraham in Boston.
Yes, sir.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I have two questions. One is, can I-360 for VAWA, approved I-360 for VAWA case expire?
No.
Okay. Number two, I'm trying to refile, but most of the questions like regarding arrest record, because when I had issues with my previous wife where she made false allegations, I was arrested. Can that create problem for my renewal? Applying for a green card?
You got your VAWA approved, and I assume you had arrests while or before your VAWA was approved.
Yeah, it was because of that arrest I was approved, because she made that false allegation she couldn't prove in court, and the case was dismissed.
So immigration already knows about these arrests, and they approved your VAWA, and as part of the VAWA process, you have to prove you're a person of good moral character. So you already passed that stage, so you don't have to worry about the arrests anymore. You'll get whatever benefits you want to get.
Okay, that was the only question.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Naeem in the Bronx.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. How are you, Mr. Bragg?
Good. How are you?
I always watch your show.
Oh, thank you very much.
So kind.
Thank you.
To tell everything.
Thank you very much.
I need to do first before two follow-up. One, I wanted to make an appointment with you, if you would, in person also. Okay. And also I wanted to share with you, I just got an email from the United States citizen, Uscis. And it says that the immigration help available to those who are affected by the natural disaster and other unforeseeable circumstances. I mean, disaster era. What happened, my apartment got flooded for Ida. So I called the FEMA and they came, they gave me some kind of, whatever help they could.
Right. What is it that you're applying for? Citizenship, a green card? What is it that you're applying for?
I did apply for green card, but now I'm on PD. I was in removal proceeding because I went to it's called MAVNA, military enlistment vital to the national interest, right? So I am a public school teacher of the year, teacher of the New York City.
Great.
Right, all nominee, not the full. Okay. So now the problem is that, I went to get a military I thought I could serve better, right? and instant they arrested me. And that's why they put me on a removal procedure.
But you're in removal. You got prosecutorial discretion. Who is sponsoring you for your green card?
I have 2 U.S.-born daughters.
Okay, so you filed an adjustment and you got flooded somewhere, and that was last year, right?
No, that was 2015.
Oh, Ida, was that long ago? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And since then, I've been getting what is that called? Applying for EID card.
Okay, so what's happening with your adjustment?
Nothing. They said Uscis told me that you have to go to the court.
Okay, so have you filed an adjustment?
I filed I-48 in 2015 December. Uscis and the judge.
All right, so let me tell you, I don't know what's going on, but let's get to the chase. Okay, you need to go before the judge and recalendar your removal case, because right now you're off the calendar because of prosecutorial discretion, and adjust your status before the immigration judge. Either you're going to file a new adjustment before the immigration judge, or there's still some pending adjustment from years ago that we can transfer to the judge. One way or the other. But that's what needs to happen for you. All right, so hold on 1 second. We'll help. Let's go to Rupan in Jamaica.
Hi.
Hi, Rupan.
How are you, sir?
What's going on?
Yeah, my citizenship examination, I will eligible to apply for my citizenship next month.
Right.
Now my question to you, I have 4 or 5 traffic tickets. I was using cell phone or illegally U-turn, something 4 or 5 traffic tickets. So you think this is going to be affect for my citizenship? Or?
No, I don't think being a bad driver makes you a bad person. Just makes you a bad driver.
Okay, sir. Now, and what documents I need to apply for the citizenship? What documents?
You need your green card. You need your passport to show you've had no trips abroad for more than 6 months, and that you've been physically in the U.S. for 2.5 out of the last 5 years. You need 5 years tax returns to show you've been working and paying taxes. And if you have not been working and paying taxes, then you're going to need to show how you were able to support yourself without working, because then the presumption would be you were working off the books and were not paying taxes. If you are under 31 years old, you need proof that you applied for the selective service. You need to get your dispositions of all your traffic offenses, still submit them nevertheless, and file your N-400 application.
You said I need dismiss for the traffic ticket?
I would take it anyway, because it's always good to show just in case, but it's not going to affect you whatsoever.
So before I apply, I need dismiss, or when I go to the...
No, when you go for the interview, it's fine.
Oh, when I go to the interview. Okay, and the last question, sir. If my passport is I'm from Bangladesh, so if my passport is expired, so this is okay? Or
That's fine. You don't need to renew your passport.
So can you just transfer the line someone, so I need the appointment?
Yep, hold on 1 second. Hold on. All right, let's go to Andy in Corona, California. Andy.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How about you?
Good. What's going on?
Okay, Brad, I have a question to ask you. Actually, I applied for the citizenship in August this year. And I'm in California. And I don't heard about anything, not like a fingerprint, nothing.
When did you apply?
August 29th this year.
Okay, so you're not going to get a fingerprint because they're probably going to use your old fingerprint that they have on record. So don't worry. Did you get a receipt notice that they received your application?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. So then you're fine. Okay. Don't worry. Most people are not getting fingerprinted and biometrics done again simply because of COVID, and USCIS figured out how to use your old ones. They have it saved somewhere and they don't need them again. So don't worry that something is wrong. They have your application. It was received. Naturalization's taking certainly in New York, about 6-8 months. I assume in California, similar. So you filed in August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Sometime in March or April, you should get an interview.
Okay. So just directly come to the interview, right?
Correct.
And one more question, last question. So definitely, yes, you mentioned me, means they don't take my fingerprint or nothing. So they can use my a 5 year before I take my fingerprint and my picture.
Your fingerprints don't change.
Of course, yeah.
Right.
And how about the picture?
It's the same.
So they not change it because right now, of course, 5 years, a lot of changes. So I can, when I go to the interview, I can tell the officer.
You can discuss it with the officer if you want to change your picture, whatever they want to do.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate for your time. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Let's go to Nathan in Newark. Nathan.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hi. I actually don't have a question. I was just calling to say thank you. I called in a couple of weeks ago. I just want to let you know that I followed your advice and I submitted my application.
Okay.
I just called in back to say thanks.
You followed my advice, and what happened?
I had a question about VAWA about a week or two ago.
Right.
And I got all my stuff, my ducks in a row, and I filed for the, I submitted the N1 400, so I'm good.
Okay, congratulations. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the call. I'm glad it all worked out for you. Because I probably help lots of people I don't even know, so I really appreciate that you call. At least I know one person's being helped, and I'm sure I've helped many. But thank you.
Oh yeah, you really helped me, sort out some questions that I had.
Okay, great.
And and so I just want to say thank you, and I'll let you know when I finally get everything done.
Please let me know. All right, and good luck so far.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. All right, Lamont in Gulf Shore, Alabama.
Pleasant good evening, sir.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, sir, I'm fine. I want to say like 2 or 3 months ago, I make a consultation with you. But I guess I left some of the details out, so I just want to get a clarification before I reach out back to your office.
I don't know who you are, so tell me what's going on.
Yeah, what happened was in 2019, I got arrested. I'm a green card holder through marriage. 2019, I got arrested, but the case was dismissed. But before the case was dismissed, they put me on a thing that called withheld adjudication.
Yes.
So I don't know if that will affect my N400.
Well, that sounds like you were arrested and you went to some diversionary program. When you go into a diversionary...
No, I didn't go.
Let me give you a concept of what a conviction is for immigration. A conviction is you pled guilty or you were found guilty by a jury or a judge, and they give you a sentence. The sentence could be jail, probation, a fine, stay out of trouble, whatever it is. But there's a sentence and there's a guilty finding. That's a conviction for immigration. When you go into a diversionary program, different states, they call it different things. In New York, they call it ACD, adjourned in contemplation of dismissal. In New Jersey, they call it PTI, pretrial intervention. I'm not sure where, I guess, has this happened in Alabama, or where did this happen?
It's happened in Alabama.
Okay, so in Alabama, they call it withholding adjudication, which means that it sounds like to me, and I got to double check what the Alabama law is, but what it sounds like to me is that they say, go do this program, go pay this fine, go do this. We're not going to find you innocent. We're not going to find you guilty. We're not making any finding whatsoever. But after you do whatever we tell you to do, come back to us, and if you do it the way we told you to do it, we're going to dismiss the charges. That's a diversionary program, which basically they gave you a sentence because there was a punishment, but never found you guilty of anything. So it's not a crime for immigration. So based on what you're telling me, your case was dismissed.
Yes, the case was. What I was saying, that they put what happened, whatever. They didn't give me a program. They told me to go home and come back after 6 months to court. And pending I don't get in trouble for 6 months, they're going to dismiss it. So
Perfect.
they sent me home.
So you arrested
and
and
I
the
went
case
back
dismissed.
For 6 months. Yes, but I wanted to know if that period where they sent me home, was that a probation or whatever? Because
what that is that you had an arrest in a pending criminal case, and 6 months went by and they dismissed it. So you were arrested, you were charged, case dismissed.
I was charged.
Right, arrested, charged, dismissed. That's what happened. Now,
so it would be. Go ahead.
Now, do you have other arrests?
No, I have. There's nothing else.
All right. So, what was this arrest for? Do you mind talking about it on the air?
Yes, that arrest was for a domestic dispute in the third, which is a misdemeanor.
So you had a bad day. Okay, you and your wife had a bad day. It happens. How only happened once in your lifetime. One bad day doesn't make you a bad person. The charges were dismissed. I think you'll be okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Bye.
Let's go to William in Denver, Colorado.
Yes, Brad. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I have two questions. One, I applied for green card, and I'm an asylee.
Right.
I was granted asylum in 2018. I applied for green card, but they called me in August for interview. I went there, just asked me a few questions about my family, whatever, and then he told me they'll give me a letter. Then they called me for another interview. It's for tomorrow. I don't know why, because most people are telling me asylees, they just call them for green card, they don't go for interview. Is there any problem? Do you think, is there any problem?
Well, they could be calling you back to deny you and hand you a notice to appear. They could be calling you back to ask you more questions. I don't know.
Okay.
I wasn't there. It's going to be one or the other. Either they have more questions, or a lot of times they call you back, they hand you the notice to appear, now you're in deportation, you were personally served, you can't say you didn't know about it.
Deportation because of my asylum case, which was approved in 2019.
Oh, your asylum case was approved already?
Yes, I was granted asylum in 2018.
And this was for your adjustment?
This is green card adjustment.
My apologies. I thought this was your asylum interview.
No.
Probably have more questions for you. Maybe they want to stamp your passport. I don't know.
Okay.
You're asking me to guess what's happening. I don't know.
Because they told me asylees, they don't call them for interview.
But you have asylum. So
yes.
Nothing bad's going to happen to you. They're not going to arrest you. Okay? Either it's going to be one of three things. They deny your adjustment, and then we got to figure out why and fix it and refile. 2, they have more questions, and you tell them the truth as best as you know it. Or 3, they just want to stamp your passport and give you a green card. I don't know.
Or I applied for my family as well in 2018, and it has been pending. I-7 study. It's almost 2 years past the period of processing. And when I went there last time, I asked him about a question about my family. He pulled the files for my family, for my son, daughter, and wife. He had them in his office. He told me, but at that time he was going to work on my green card. He's not going to work on my family. Can that family be?
You should be filing a mandamus. Force them to work on your family. Your family's entitled to follow to join you here.
How about for the work authorization? Since I was granted asylum indefinitely, it is indicated that I don't need to use work authorization. But whenever I go to DM,
you need a work permit. You need a work permit.
Okay.
All right. Until you get your green card.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Let's go to Tim in Fairfax. Tim.
Hi, Greg.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well. I just have a quick question. So, I got married and I got a green card, a 2-year green card. So I filed to remove my condition in February this year.
Right.
So things are not working out in the relationship. So I was wondering, would it be a good thing if we were to kind of divorce right now?
Is it a good thing?
Would I be able? I know it wouldn't be a good thing right now.
Let me put it to you this way: neither good nor bad. It's neither good nor bad. Meaning that if you are in a happy relationship with your spouse, you can get through based on being in a happy, bona fide relationship with your spouse. If you're in an unhappy relationship with your spouse, the law doesn't require you to stay in an unhappy marriage to keep your green card. So then get divorced, and you do it on your own, and you go to the interview, and you prove 2 things. 1, I'm divorced, and 2, not today, but in the past, me and my wife lived together. Simple. So good or bad, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're in a bona fide marriage with your spouse, and you can prove you are together, you either continue your relationship with your spouse to the end, the 2 of you go on that interview, you prove it's a bona fide marriage. If you say, I can't live with this person anymore, you get a divorce. You move out, she moves out, whatever it is, you separate, and you convert your pending I-751 to a waiver of the joint application, and you submit your divorce, and you go on the interview without your spouse, and instead of saying, yes, me and my spouse are together and I'm here by myself, which is not the truth, you say, here's my divorce, I am no longer with my spouse, in the past I was, here's the proof I was with her in the past. And you get through. So either way, you get a green card. It's not good, not bad, it's what makes you happy.
Lovely. All righty. And, okay, anyway, I had already scheduled for a consultation with you, so no, that's fine. It's okay, Brad.
All right, we'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, man.
Okay. All right. Sounds like he's happy to get a divorce, this man. He's like, lovely, yes. Or lovely, he'll stay together. I don't know.
Never know.
Don't know. All right. Musa in the Bronx.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I got two questions. My first question is, I've been in the country as a Ali, and I got married to a U.S. citizen. And for some reason, I used to work with this attorney. She filed it. For some reason, she didn't file a appropriate document.
She filed what document?
She filed a document for my green card and all that. And for some reason, I don't know, maybe she missed some documents, so she didn't file it right. So we waited for a few years, nothing happened. So I have to track it. So fast forward, she never said anything. So I got a new lawyer, and we tried to do everything right. So she didn't file it. So right now, we waited for an interview date. So we couldn't get an interview date. So my wife called the USCIS for what's going on about my case. So the USCIS said, okay, to my case, they forwarded to EOIR. So what does that mean?
Sounds like you were denied and something's on appeal. Or you're in removal. I'm not sure. But if you're waiting years and years and years, obviously there's a problem. Okay? How did you come to the U.S.?
Through the port of entry.
With a visa?
No.
What?
I just came through the border without a visa, nothing. As an asylum.
And you applied for asylum. Okay, so maybe you're in removal on your asylum case, which is why your case has not gotten through.
Well, the lawyer didn't file for asylum. She made the case open.
I understand that, but you filed for asylum. So just because when you file for asylum, if you lose your asylum case or you don't appear for your asylum interview, ultimately what happens is you get put in removal. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm taking guesses because I don't know. What you can do, okay, you were paroled into the U.S., presumably. Right. You filed for asylum. You're married to a U.S. citizen. I assume it's a real marriage, right?
Yeah, we got a 6-year-old.
Okay, great. Boy. And I assume you don't have a criminal record, right?
No.
Okay, so
I got arrested about 6 years ago for false personification.
And what happened?
Later, when I go to court, they dismiss it and they fine me $100 I paid. But 6 years ago, 7 years ago, yeah.
All right, so it wasn't dismissed because you paid a fine. So there's something there, but it sounds like it's a petty offense. This is procedure. It's not a substantive problem. You have a procedural problem. Somebody's not following the right procedure, which is why you're spinning your wheels. So I got to figure out where everything went wrong, whether you have a pending asylum, you were never put in removal. Sounds like to me you were in removal, which is why you're having a problem. That's what it sounds like to me, but I got to double check. Hold on 1 second. You probably need to come and see me. Let's go to Valorosa in Dallas.
Hi, how you doing, sir?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, I have a question. Okay, I came into the country in 2013, and I got married to my first American U.S. citizen in 2013, and we went for interview. And after the interview, we didn't go. The interview, we had discrepancies, and the USCIS came for a site visit. And after that, in 2015, they came with a notice to deny. So we responded with all the documents that we had together. But after that, they still came with a decision saying they came out to find out that we have limited documents to prove that the marriage was bona fide. So my lawyer advised in 2015 that I reapply instead of just appealing the case.
It sounds like a smart idea.
So I can get a work authorization.
Right.
So we did refile again, and we went for the interview. And after the interview, we already having problems with them in the marriage. So my U.S. citizen wife.
What is your? Tell me what your question is.
So my question is: so right now I'm in another marriage. Right now, that's my second U.S. marriage.
Right.
And I wanted the marriage is not even going well this time because I'm separated right now. So I want to file for VAWA. So my question is: does my new VAWA application is it going to affect my prior marriages?
Well, the only reason why, if you were emotionally or physically abused by your second wife, the only way that the first marriage comes back and haunts you on either a VAWA or on an adjustment through your second wife is if immigration in the first marriage gave a decision not saying you didn't prove the bona fides of a marriage, but gave a decision saying, based on the evidence, we believe that this is a sham marriage.
Yeah, they said I have a C-204.
All right, so they said that you were entered into a sham marriage. That will affect everything. And it's a 204C finding. Now, you can overcome that with a lot of documentation to prove that they're incorrect. They're wrong. I've seen situations where, people were charged in a 204C and ultimately then filed a VAWA and were able to prove that as part of the abuse, my ex-spouse was purposely screwing up to get me deported. So, I mean, I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying, there's lots of reasons why things don't work out or immigration says that this is a sham marriage and then you're ultimately able to prove it's not. So, but you definitely need a lawyer. So hold on one second. Let's go to Max in Bronx, New York.
Hey, good night, Brad. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm not so bad. All right, I got a question. So my dad's sister filed for him, and the paperwork is coming through. But he's telling me that I was on the filing as well. But that was before I become the age 21.
Who filed for your dad? Right? Who filed for your dad?
His sister.
Okay, so your aunt.
Yeah, that's my aunt, and I'm over the age of 21. But when she filed for him, I was under 21.
Right.
The age of 21. Do you think I will get through on the filing?
Where's your dad?
My dad is in Jamaica.
Okay. And you have been in the United States for how long now?
I've been here for 6 months.
For 6 months?
Yes.
Okay. So you have not overstayed your visa?
No.
Okay. And how old are you now?
I'm 24.
Do you know how long it took for the initial I-130 visa petition to get approved?
No, I don't.
All right. You may very well be under the Child Status Protection Act. It depends on how long the I-130 took to get approved. But if you are under the Child Status Protection Act, we got to figure it out now before you even think of overstaying. And if you are under the Child Status Protection Act, you should go back to Jamaica and go for the green card with the rest of your family. Because once you overstay, you're going to have a problem going back to get your green card. But first step is Child Status Protection Act. Are you or are you not? The way you figure it out, and I can't figure it out because you don't have the information to give me, is how long did it take the initial I-130 visa petition to get approved? Usually, brothers and sisters cases took years. So let's say, for example, your aunt files for your dad, and 5 years later, the I-130 gets approved. You now get to add those 5 years to your 21st birthday. You have until 26 to get your green card, provided you paid the fees to the National Visa Center within 1 year of visas being made available to you before your 26th birthday. It's actually a complicated formula. I would need to see all of the records to determine if you're under the Child Status Protection Act.
Okay, I think it was over 12 years though since she.
Okay, fine. So now the only question is did they pay the fees to the National Visa Center within 1 year of a visa being available to you? Yes, it may have taken 12 years to get to this point, but how long was the I-130 portion taking?
Gotcha.
All right, so hold on. You need a consultation. Let's go to Sharna in New York. Sharna.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
I wanted to ask you something.
What?
Are there two questions actually. Are there any setbacks if a green card holder files for his or her spouse who is illegal here in the U.S.?
Well, the setback would be that you wouldn't be able to adjust unless they're 245I. So then you would have to do a provisional waiver, go home and come back. Or if that spouse entered on a legal visa, then wait on the permanent resident to become a citizen and then adjust status.
The person is about to apply for citizenship.
Okay, and then the person getting the green card came on a legal entry?
I'm not sure. I'll have to find out.
Okay.
So if they came on illegal entry, then it would be a problem.
Well, it depends what illegal means.
What if they come in on somebody's name or something like that?
Well, then you would have to prove that they came on somebody's name and then file a waiver, or maybe they're 245I, or perhaps somebody in the family is in the military and you can do a parole in place.
Basically, if the person came in legally, then it can be done, and the person is going to file for citizenship, so it can be done.
It can be done. Correct? As long as the person becomes a citizen ultimately.
Oh, so you can actually start the filing before the person applies for citizenship, and you'll be getting a work permit and all of that?
No, you would have to wait until the person becomes a citizen.
Okay. The other question I wanted to ask you, if somebody is about to do a filing and they for the last 3 tax forms that they're required to present, what if 1 year within that 3-year period the person did not work, so there was no need to file? Would that be a problem?
This is the sponsor?
Right, the sponsor.
Well, it depends on what their income was for the other years. If they have high income in the other years, it shouldn't be a problem. If they're just meeting the threshold and they're missing 1 year of taxes, I would probably suggest get a second affidavit of support.
Okay, good. All right, Brad, thanks much.
All right, good luck. All right, and by the way, you could always follow us on Instagram at Bradshaw Live. You don't like 2 hours of our show, but you handle 30 seconds of our show. Follow us on Instagram at Bradshaw Live. You can also follow us on TikTok at Bradshaw Live. It's our fastest growing social media platform. You can leave your question, and you may be lucky enough to get a personalized video from me answering your particular question. Just know the whole world's going to see it. And Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias.
And you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And later in the show, we're going to hear the final part of my discussion with Steven Garza, the breakout star of Apple Plus 2021 Emmy-winning documentary Boy State.
And we went to New York Comic Con and asked people what they wanted to see in U.S. immigration reform. Now let's see what the attendees had to say, and also let us know what you guys feel in the comments as well.
What is the #1 change you want to see in U.S. immigration reform?
Maybe for like the immigration officers or anyone in charge to take a bit more in consideration or acknowledge more like the experience or the journey that some of the people might have had here. Acknowledge a bit more of that instead of maybe having the same medium for judging their resolutions like anyone else.
All right, so there's some social media Jonathan has been scouring. Let's check it out.
All here.
Well, let's check it in.
Let's check in.
Let's check in, not check it out.
Yeah, all right. Tadele Kansal on Facebook. I have an I-130 application with USCIS. I got married 7 months ago. If it gets to 2 years before my application is finalized, can I get a 10-year permanent residence? If yes, is there any mechanism by which I can push my application to delay? I don't want to come to the U.S. for just a year. I have a high-paying job at the moment.
She has an I-130, not an I-751.
Yeah, I said I-130 application.
How do you delay? Yeah, just when your case gets to the National Visa Center, don't submit the affidavit of support so fast.
Okay, RM on YouTube. Can I join the U.S. military with a stamp on my passport while I-751 is processing?
Yes.
Daryl Winneba on YouTube. If my wife is filing an adjustment of status for me at the same time she's filing her citizenship, can I get my green card in a year?
Well, if you're filing an adjustment and you're in legal status, even if your wife's not a citizen, you can get your green card in about a year.
Natural Nikisha on YouTube. DQ since June 2020 and still no interview date for F2A category. Is the embassy in Kingston, Jamaica conducting an interview, and what can I do to get the interview?
They've been closed for a long time, and it's just trickling in. Unless there is some humanitarian crisis that you need to be in the U.S. immediately, or you're going to age out, there's not a lot you can do.
AN on YouTube. Can a green card holder travel to a European country like Germany with a foreign country passport, or do they need to travel for a travel document, or do they need to apply for a travel document?
The green card allows you to re-enter the United States of America. Whether or not you can enter, say, Germany would depend on what the German rules are for people with your passport.
Nina Slavchekva on YouTube. My spouse has a child from a previous marriage. Do I have to write him in the I-751 form, or is it only for the biological children that we have together?
All your children.
Kelvin on YouTube. I did my interview on October 21st, 2021. I have not received my work authorization, and I have yet to hear from USCIS. What should I do?
Follow up with them. If it's, I wasn't there. I didn't do your case. How long has it been?
Did the interview October 21st, 2021.
It's only been 5 weeks. Sit back and relax.
Elizabeth Aching on YouTube. Is there any chance for work permits for immigrants in Biden's bill?
Yes, we're waiting for Plan C.
Okay, Phil's Kend on YouTube. My best friend has been waiting for a court date for his asylum case since 2017. What can he do? 5 years is not too much time?
We can file a mandamus if you have a really good case.
Bukola Sani on Facebook. My sister's case was denied because I think USCIS sent a letter to our former address and we didn't know. I recently checked my sister's status and it says it was denied April 2021 because March was the deadline to reapply for the letter or to the letter. They said we can file a motion to reopen. Should we file this or just restart over? Which is better and faster? The case has been going on for 4 years now.
Who sponsored who?
Just says that the sister's case was denied. So we don't know.
If the sister is going to lose a priority date, you want to make a motion to reopen. But really, if they mailed the notice, the RFE, to an old address, the only way you're going to win that motion to reopen is prove that you notified immigration that you changed addresses and they still mailed it to the old address. That case, you'll win. Other than that, you'll probably lose it.
Bostono Locono on YouTube. What is Plan C?
What is Plan C? Mm-hmm. That is parole status for people who were here prior on or before January 1st, 2011. That gets you promise from the government not to deport you, a work permit, travel document, good for 5 years, renewable for another 5 years, as well as giving more green cards to people on the waiting list from the unused green cards and paying an extra fine to jump the line on green cards.
Anonymous on YouTube. It's been 4 months since I took my biometrics. I filed VAWA and I still have no response from USCIS. How long do you feel is going to take to get an employment authorization document and travel documents?
They filed an adjustment?
It's been 4 months since they took the biometrics, filed a VAWA.
Well, if you filed a VAWA adjustment, it's about 6 months. If it's just a VAWA, you're not going to get anything.
Okay, Dr. Imad Tatamuni on YouTube. What does it mean when the I-485 and I-140 have been in Texas Service Center for 3 years, and then last month they sent it to National Benefits Center for 1 month and sent it back to Texas Center?
What does it mean? It means that they're shuffling your file all over the place.
Yikes. All right. Ethel Romaine Natividad Garcia on Facebook. I missed a call from USCIS to reschedule my biometric appointment. I tried to call back but didn't get an answer. And now the representative said it might be an abandonment. What should I do? What are the next steps? I have COVID, so I'm unable to go to my appointment.
Contact immigration by letter. Don't make a telephone call.
Last one, Peter Yearwood on YouTube. I filed a U visa. I did my biometrics in 2017, 2018. I was told I can't apply for a work permit, cannot apply for a work permit yet, and that I had to wait 10 years. I'm confused about what I should do.
What did they apply in 2018?
U visa, and did the biometrics in 2017,
well,
2018.
you can file for a work permit based on humanitarian reasons. They've also come out with a new rule that if you have a bona fide U visa application, you can request a work permit that way too. So there's other ways to get a work permit. All right. So this week I've been speaking with Steven Garza, who became the breakout star of the film Boys State after attending the program in 2018. Boys State was founded in 1935 by the American Legion to promote leadership skills among Texas young people. The documentary, streaming on Apple TV, has received numerous awards, including the 2021 Primetime Emmy. Steven is Mexican-American and more liberal-minded than most of the other participants in the program. We've talked about his family's immigration story and how he's chosen to participate in the Boys State program and film. Today, Steven tells us how being a part of Boys State changed his life, including being invited to former President Bill Clinton's podcast, his new job, and his future goals. Let's watch. Steven Garza is one of the breakout stars of Boys State, winner of the 2020 Sundance Grand Jury Prize and the 2021 Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Documentary or Nonfiction Special. Directed and produced by Jesse Moss and Amanda McBain, the film follows 1,000 teenage boys attending the week-long program Boys State in Texas in the summer of 2018 to build a representative government from the ground up, including a slate of elected officials from governor to sheriff. Steven, who is Mexican-American and more liberal-minded, ran for governor of the Nationalist Party, while the majority of the students were conservative. The way in which Steven handled his campaign gained the attention and respect from everyone, from his fellow Boys State participants to former presidents Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. With me to discuss his family's immigration story, how his experience at Boys State changed his life, and his perspective on politics and society is Steven Garza. Thank you for joining me today, Steven. Boys State was released on Apple TV Plus in August of 2020. Let's watch the trailer.
I will skip the part where I brag for 3 minutes about how great and cool I am, seeing as we are all qualified young men of skill and character. People like that stuff. Sounds good, yeah. People like that stuff a lot.
Some people say they're a sports junkie. I say I'm a politics junkie.
The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph.
I'm playing this like a game. I would like very much to win. I love it, boys. I love it. Where are you from?
I come from a very modest family. I'm on the course to be the first one to graduate from high school. I am a progressive person, and I'm in a room full of mostly conservative people.
Our masculinity shall not be infringed.
I've never seen so many white people ever. I feel like everybody has a secret underlying need for bipartisanship.
A message of unity, as good as it sounds, is not winning anyone any elections.
Primary polls are now open. Get yourselves ready for a turbulent election.
Whatever happens, dude, best of luck.
You win, I support you fully.
My name is Steven Garza, and I'm running for governor.
Musk gets applause because
As to the political views voiced in my speech, sometimes you gotta say what you gotta say in an attempt to win.
I think he's a fantastic politician. But I don't think a fantastic politician is a compliment either.
We're gonna do shock and awe. It's gonna be awesome.
I want y'all to take out your phones and go on Instagram. Everyone, come on.
Oh my God.
Where we show the world what patriots are made of. That when things get tough, we pull ourselves by our bootstraps. One nation, under God, lovers of the Constitution of the United States of America.
That's politics, I think. That's politics.
Now, the film has garnered many awards and recognition. It's won the Sundance Grand Jury Prize in January 2020, the 2021 Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Documentary. It was also on former President Barack Obama's 2020 End of the Year list for movies. How does that make you feel that you are featured in this award-winning movie? People recognize you and say, hey, you're the guy from Boise State?
Sometimes, yeah, especially I go to school at the University of Texas at Austin. That's where we filmed Boise State. And so it's like every day for me, I'm on set basically again after all these years. I'm walking to class and I glance over it and I'm like, oh, this is where that happened. I remember when this happened here. By the time filming ended during the week and the film premiere at Sundance was a year and a half.
Right.
So it was a year and a half of nothing. Like I went on about my life like any normal person. I started my senior year. I graduated high school. I started college at the University of Texas at El Paso for a year and finally get the news in the fall of 2019. Hey, so we submitted the film to Sundance and we got in. And so we're in the U.S. documentary competition. We're taking you and your mom there.
Do you get any money? Do you get any royalties at all for being in this film?
So the thing with documentaries is that there's ethical reasons as to why subjects aren't directly paid for their participation is because everything you see in Boise State happened because it happened for real. When you see me get emotional in the film, I'm getting emotional because I'm sad and not because I'm being paid to be sad. And so there's a lot of ethical considerations when making a documentary, especially when it comes to compensation. But what I can say is that there are other indirect ways that this film has helped me out. This film is why I'm being able to go to college and afford to go to college. You know, I've been supported by App 1A24 through some indirect means of like, hey, you know, ethically we cannot pay you for this, but we can help you out in many other ways that again are still super life-changing. And just being in the film, right, the opportunities that have come up because of my being in the film, the last 3 jobs, internships that I've had, in the interview process, the person interviewing me said, hey, I saw the film, by the way.
You got the attention of Bill Clinton, for example. You were on Bill Clinton's podcast. Why am I telling you this? How was that experience?
When I got the call that was happening, it was like, you know, wow, this is, you know, and the opportunities I've had to like do Q&As with, you know, with celebrities and other politicians and some organizations.
But you did talk to Bill Clinton. What did you guys talk about?
We talked about the film. Obviously, we talked about our experiences at Boise State. He shared on me his wisdom, and we talked about the current state of politics. And my favorite moment from that was really afterwards is that towards the end of the conversation, we were talking about biography about President Grant, and I asked President Clinton what was the name of his autobiography that I'd love to read it. And he tells me like, you know, oh, it's, you know, my life, and don't worry, I'll send you a copy of it. And a few days later in the mail, I get this huge package from the office of President Clinton. And I open it, and at the very top of the box, there's a really nice note kind of thanking me for talking with him. And he kind of explains some things about the books that he sent me. So he sent me 7 books in total. And so he wrote this really nice long note and signed it. And it's like, you know, it has like this, you know, William Jefferson Clinton on the very top in like gold letters. Not only did I sit down with him for an hour, and he sent me all his books, and he wrote me a nice letter, but he also signed and left me a note in every single book about what I should take away from that book, and signed it as well. In the letter, he just mentioned that he lost his first race for public office, much like I, you know, had lost my race for Boise State, but that he had learned so much from it and loved it every second of the way. Like I did as well. I learned a lot from my experience, and I made so many friends and so many great memories, and I loved it. For me, there have been a lot of times when I've worked in politics, and because I'm a lot younger, that I felt that I was never taken too seriously. Sometimes there were times where I felt after like an electoral defeat that maybe this isn't for me and maybe I'm on the wrong path. But to have a former president sit down, take an hour of his day to sit down with me and then write me a letter and then write me all these notes in these books and have them sent to me, that kind of really reaffirms like, I must be doing something right.
In the beginning of the film, a teacher says that our increasingly internet-based society has gotten in the way of our ability to have a dialogue. Social media plays a big part. Do you agree with that assessment by the teacher?
Yeah. There's a thing that Renee says in the film that said, like, you know, this is, he says that at first he thought this was a conservative indoctrination camp. But he later goes on to say that this is actually what every liberal needs, is to, and not even for me, even just liberals, but for conservatives to step out of their bubble that they formed around themselves and actually communicate and talk to or debate somebody who disagrees with you. I mean, on social media, you know, most of the friends you have are going to be more or less like-minded people. On social media, you're going to follow the news that you want to follow, the politicians you want to follow, the organizations you want to follow. And it's a lot easier to yell at somebody over social media than to yell at them in person, although some people find it quite easy to do both. But for me to go to Boise State with my hard beliefs, have those beliefs challenged and pushed back, and me having to debate them makes me a better person, makes me better civically minded, because I get the chance to see somebody and not think of them as, quote, the enemy or my opponent, but just somebody who I have to share this country with that has disagreements about how we should run it.
Do you still keep in touch with any of the other participants, Renee or Robert?
Throughout this entire 3-year process, we've texted, we've been doing Q&As together. We got to hang out in person for the weekend, and that was so much fun. We've all grown and matured in the 3 years since. Obviously, some of us have changed some positions on certain things. Some of us realize that maybe the way we do politics isn't the best way to go on about it. But we all really love and respect one another, and we're going to be connected for the rest of our lives, not only just through the virtue of being part of this Boise State Brotherhood, but also because of this film. And this is the end of our, the Emmys was the Hollywood ending that we hoped we'd get.
Right.
And so right now it's like it's kind of done. Like the Boise State movie journey has come to an end.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? You're done with college. What do you want to do?
I hope in 5 years I'd like to work at the White House. I don't think anybody who plans to run for office at an early age should probably run for office, because I think that's more of a desire to hold power rather than to serve your constituents. In the next 10 years, don't see that happening. Like for me, it's like I'm in college and I get to work for the DNC, which I'm really happy to do so. And
And you're working for the DNC now. I understand you're the assistant to the executive director in Texas, right?
For the entire party. So he's the executive director of the party.
Oh, wow. That is a big job.
That is, yeah, it is. I just started this. I just started this week, and it's that
is very impressive.
Thank you.
Was that hard to get that job? Did obviously being on Boise State helped you get that interview, I would assume?
Yes. So the Shelby Cole, who works at the DNC, saw the film and reached out to me a few months ago. And I had applied to a position with the DNC. Like not for that. I applied for like a social media strategist position, and that ended up going up all the way up to Shelby, who said, hey, like we know each other, and the job was going to be super full time and probably wouldn't work, but she knew that Sam was looking for a new assistant to bring on, and so kind of made the introduction. So everybody's still remote over there in DC. So how it works, I go to school. Most of my classes are in the morning. So I'm usually done around 11 a.m. And then from 11 a.m. onwards, I'm there for them, and so like I do that. I'm, doing, what I need to do for them. And then at night is when I do my homework.
You are a very, very busy guy.
But I love it, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
What advice would you give people who do not get to a strong role in Boise State, especially young people who want to get involved civilly, get involved in their civil government, get involved in political parties? What can they do?
It's really just reaching out. It all starts really locally. I mean, you got to have some experience under your belt. That's how I started, right? I just reached out to like the Harris County Young Democrats and made friends there that I'm still friends with, and made some really great mentors, like my friend James Burnett, he's the president of the Harris County Young Democrats. He was just a member when I met him. He's a few years older than I am. But he taught me a lot. He taught me to something simple like, hey, on a suit, you don't button the second button. You just button the first one. Or when it comes to like dealing with politics and strategy and stuff like that, I learned a lot from him. So it's really just getting involved with your local party. It's, researching it and being knowledgeable so that you know what you're talking about. And especially if you're young, right? If you want to volunteer your time, right? It's very hard to get a paid position at the local level. But I'm saying like no local campaign will ever turn away volunteers. No state, no local party will ever turn away volunteers. Everybody who ever made it in politics had to start somewhere. And I would say 99% of them started
at that local level and learned as much as they could, made those friends, made those connections with people. And when it came time to move up, they want to have those people in mind who dedicated their time selflessly to advance the policies and politics of something that they believed in. It took me so long to get to a position where this can kind of be my livelihood. And I think that we need to change some aspects of it. But patience, and if you work hard and be able to do this as their livelihood. And you know, for me, it's like, it's not work because I assistant to the executive director, even just work, like that's a dream job for me. And my dream job isn't to be an assistant. You know, my dream job is to be able to work.
Be the director one day.
Well,
right. You don't want to be the assistant to the director. You want to be the director, but you got to obviously, you're starting somewhere.
I've accomplished my dream because I get to do something that I love doing and I have loved doing my entire life and I've cared about, to help in any way help these people advance the agenda of politics that I believe in. And I get to make a livelihood out of it rather than having to sacrifice one for the other. Either I have to sacrifice doing what I love to make money or make money doing something that I hate. So I get to do both now. I get to do something that I love and that, you know, pays the bills. And that's a dream for me, right? So that's why I'm super happy to be working with them and to just have had this opportunity to be with them.
Where can people follow you on social media?
All my social media handles are the same. It's just at Steven A. Garza, StevenAgarza. I don't post as often. I'm on it a lot, and I try to reply to everything that comes my way. When it first happened, there was a flood of people, and it was very hard. Anybody who takes the time out of their day to reach out to me, I really appreciate it, and will always try to reply to them if I can.
Tell me, what is your American dream?
To be able to do what I like doing, and I'd like to have a family of my own and a nice cozy home somewhere. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Hopefully, you know, still in Texas, if not in Washington, and working as a staffer somewhere. I think that's where I may be able to do the most good. And then sometimes I feel more comfortable not being the guy, but the guy that the guy counts on.
Thank you very much, Steven. You can watch Steven in Boy State on Apple TV+. Steven, we can't wait to watch you grow, see where you are in 5 and 10 years from now, and see what you're going to be doing in the future. Thank you again for coming.
Thanks, Brad.
Appreciate it. Hello. All right. So we're going to put 50 seconds.
9
I was going to say 9 seconds and 50 questions.
That definitely
We're going to do 50 seconds and 9 questions.
Speed round.
Let's do it.
All right. So
they
far
start the
we've
clock.
done it.
They start the clock whenever.
Okay.
Wait. You gotta wait for them to start the clock, and then we'll start reading. They just randomly start.
You tell me when it starts.
It has not started yet.
Tell me when.
Now it will start.
Can an approved I-360 for VAWA expire?
No.
Can you travel if you have an interview in April?
Travel wherever you want, but come back for April.
Can an undocumented person fly domestic with valid foreign passport?
Yes.
How can an undocumented person get a tax ID?
File a 1040 return and attach a W-7.
Why is VAWA C9 taking so long?
Because the government's backed up bureaucracy. Donald Trump decimated USCIS.
Is it advisable to file M400 with the I-751 pending?
Yeah, if you're in a bona fide marriage.
How long does it take to get an SSN after EAD?
Should be a week or 2.
How long after I receive my green card can I apply for citizenship?
1 year military, 3 years, bona fide marriage, 5 years otherwise.
Can an 18-year-old LPR become a citizen, or does he have to wait till 21?
You can naturalize at 18.
Woo! Woo! Come on. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes!
That's what I'm talking about.
Even the sign lady, Jenny from the Cubicle,
came in with 10. Said that's a perfect 10. Yes.
All right, we did it. Woo! And I even gave some. I even gave a lot. I gave a lot of
some of them, and I was like,
yes.
We did it.
We did it.
Oh.
Excellent. Now, if we could get some good comments of the day, it would be a perfect show.
And we will. Comments of the day.
Let's see if it will make it a perfect show.
All right. Our first comment of the day comes from Lingir Diop saying, you are an amazing lawyer. You deserve to be rewarded.
Oh, thank you. Please What's going to be my reward?
These comments of the day.
The comments of the day. Okay.
All right, our second.
You will not be rewarded in this lifetime, but in your next lifetime, you will be a king.
Right.
Right?
Right. There
Why
you go.
not?
There you go.
That's what I got going for me. My next
Your next lifetime.
I'm the king. Okay, what's
All right,
next?
second comment of the day. Yeah. Don Harriet saying, none can beat this show, Brad. It is indeed the greatest.
Oh, wow. That's the second one.
Yeah.
All right. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, also said we are the greatest show.
Yeah.
2 people today.
2 people today. I'm
said
sure
this
there
is the
was other
best
people
show
too.
ever. I think Carol said.
Okay.
Very
yeah.
similar.
Yep. Third comment of the day.
So far, it's a perfect show.
So far.
Right.
Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
E.T. saying, squad up. I finally have my interview tomorrow after waiting a year and a half. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Even E.T.'s got an interview tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, this is perfect.
All right. And we're going to end off with the best comment, I hope. To keep it the best show.
I hope so.
Last one. Are y'all ready? Oli B saying, best immigration show ever. Always learning something new.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have 2 best shows ever and 1 best immigration show
there
ever.
You go.
E.T. getting his interview tomorrow, and I'm going to be rewarded in my next life. Perfect comments of the day.
There we go.
All right, tomorrow's hump day.
Oh.
Let's see if we can have a perfect hump day tomorrow. Wow, I know what that would be like.
Right.
What do you think that could be like?
I don't know.
You don't even want to guess.
Right.
All right, we'll see you all tomorrow. We'll figure it out. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465.